It's the Great Canadian Podcast with Dave and Charlotte.
Podcast.
Podcast.
I think I peaked again.
I think I peaked too. We peaked so early.
That's the tradition.
Oh, God. Oh, boy. Hope this isn't how the podcast is going to go, like in a metaphorical sense.
That we're gonna
Is that
peak,
right? Did I use that right?
That we're going to peak early and then we're going to
Yeah.
slowly degrade from there.
Well, it gets worse from here.
Only time will tell the tale, Charlotte.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
listeners,
God.
beloved listeners, welcome to the Great Canadian Pod, episode 4.
Episode 4. Who thought we'd make it this far?
I, for
Nobody.
one, no, I did not.
No. But here we are. We're both sick, apparently.
Yeah.
Just the sniffle twins over here.
You seem to transfer it through the mic to me or something like that. No, you know what it was? I got greedy. I pushed my luck. Everyone was sick when we went away on that tour over New Year's, and I didn't get sick. And then we all went to New York City this last weekend, and my body just said, you know what, Dave? I've given you
You've
enough.
had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time to break down a little bit.
You get cocky, though. That's what happens. You're like, everyone's sick around you, and you're like, you know what? I'm not going to get... I don't know if I said this in the last podcast, but I was sick twice before Christmas. Twice.
Really?
I had a cold, actually a really bad one, and then I was better for, I swear to God, 3 days, and it was a weekend, which was nice, because then I got to go out. But then I woke up again early the next week and could not believe it when I woke up in the morning and was like, I cannot be sick again. And it was like a different kind of cold, but it was still a cold.
Yeah.
And then over the holidays, everyone's like, oh, I'm sick. I'm going to get you sick. I'm like, don't worry. Like, my immune system is on point now. Like, I've already had 2 colds. I guess that's probably poor logic, but I said to everyone, there's no way I'm going to get sick. And
We've
sure
already
enough.
got our first follow-up for next week. I want to know. If you get sick, I mean, because that's what I think too. Like, if you get sick, you're like, okay, I'm at least good until the next 6 season, sort of thing. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But is that malarkey?
Here's what I tell people. I think this is almost certainly malarkey, but I tell people that it's because I have a really like rambunctious personality that the average day, even if I'm just talking to people, like my life is a roller coaster. I'm never neutral. I'm always either getting happier or getting more pissed off. And I'm never just like hovering in the center.
Okay.
And so I think it takes a lot of energy out of my body to always be on the way up or on the way down.
And
That's
this
what
relates to getting sick how?
Because it's like I'm depleted. It's like I'm constantly running a marathon. This is why, to all my kinesiology friends, I don't have to work out because my life is a workout.
How many people who actually work out are just shaking their heads at home right now?
All of them.
All of them. All of you. And justifiably so from this humble podcaster's opinion. Sorry, Charlotte.
You know what? From a kinesiology perspective, I also shake my head at myself, but screw it.
Good
I'm
for you.
happy with my lifestyle.
Yeah, good for you to have that much confidence and and to be able to compare yourself to something like running a marathon by not actually running a marathon.
I mean, I do. I think I must burn emotional calories in any given day.
We're so deep.
Yeah. I'm just always so excited. Or angry. A lot of, man, first couple weeks back, you know what? Wow. I think the Christmas I don't know if you get lazy over the Christmas holidays or you forget what work's like. And then our lab is a lot busier now because, you know, we shut down over Christmas, so we open back up and it gets a lot busier. And then we also have a whole bunch of new people that have to be trained. But my goodness, have I just felt like, I would say I run a marathon, but I think I'm overusing that phrase now.
Right.
But I am just, and it's only Tuesday. I already feel like the Christmas holidays were like 8 years ago.
Who are these new people that come in January? Are they, did they make like resolutions to come work at a lab? Is that sort of influx?
So our lab takes in volunteers who do 5 hours of work each week. And I mean, I don't know. I guess they're getting research experience out of it, and probably also a letter if they're applying for med school or PT or whatever. We get a letter that says this person volunteered in our lab. And then we also have students that work actually in the lab for 35 hours a week as part of their undergrad degree. And that's all they do in the semester. So we have 2 of those people this semester that are doing that. Yeah.
So they're all of the younger variety?
I mean, yeah. They're undergrads.
Gotcha.
I mean, younger relative to who is what I want to know.
Both of us, Charlotte. I'm throwing us both under the bus with that one.
Right. Yeah, it's not like, I mean, they're great. And the volunteers that started last semester, I'm friends with them all now. Like, they're wonderful people. And but it's just hard when you have to train all of them and you're trying to get back on track with your own new stuff and work until all hours in the night and getting up at all hours in the morning. God.
Are you in like 5 days a week, or are you pulling like extra shifts, training these people and then doing your research and whatnot?
No, I do not do weekends. That's you can quote me on that. Unless I absolutely have to. Unless there's absolutely no other way.
It's very Melvin of you. I respect that.
Yeah. I just refuse. I'm usually I mean, you know what? I'll work from home on weekends, but I'm not going in. And if I'm working from home, because if I'm working from home, I'm in pajamas, and I've got some sort of sporting event on TV.
Right.
Or I'm on Netflix or something like that.
So really working hard.
Well, no, definitely not working as hard as I do during the week.
Right.
And I'm proud of that. I take it down a few notches.
I don't even know why I got judgy just now. I didn't even want to be. I just had to throw it out there.
Judge away.
Good for you to enjoy working on the weekend.
So now I'm here. I got a glass of wine, and it's actually an obscenely full. Mom will be proud.
Right.
An obscenely full glass of wine because I started pouring it and got a little of the ways up the glass. It's a huge glass too. It's good. And then I looked back at the bottle. I'm like, this isn't really enough to put back in the fridge. So I just dumped it all in, and it's
my God.
it's quite a bit of wine.
By the end of the podcast, we're going to be having a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. If we would have recorded the podcast last night, sometimes when I get tired, I get really grouchy. Once in a blue moon, when I get really tired, I get really loopy and just super crazy. And I think hilarious. I'm sure no one else finds me hilarious, but I was in that zone last night. It was great. I really wished we had arranged to record the podcast last night.
So, like, when you're by yourself, how does this manifest? Like, are you just kind of cracking jokes and walking around snapping your fingers and stuff?
Oh, yeah. And to Izzy, I crack jokes to Izzy and stuff, and she just kind of looks at me. Normally, actually, she gets hyper, too, if I'm really hyper.
Izzy is not a person, for those of you who may be wondering.
They know, don't they know? Didn't we? I feel like we talked about Izzy. I don't know if you just heard her meow. I'm petting her, and she's being a little bit of a princess. Right? Oh, there she is again.
Nice.
And Dave, what are you drinking? Tell the people what you're drinking.
Dave is drinking a Sleeman Honey Brown.
Wow. Classy.
It's just a fine lager.
It's a class act drink.
I really shouldn't be because like I told you, I am sick. But my theory is, I mean, being sick, you're going to be sick for a couple of days. So you drink lots of water, get lots of sleep, that sort of thing. And, take your mind off it at the end of the day. Maybe have a beer.
Yeah.
I like to think that the alcohol is killing some of the bad things that are in my body.
Definitely. Let me ask you this. And again, I don't know if people think I should know this, but I don't. I guess I could come up with a reason. But since I've been sick, everyone says drink lots of fluids. That's their first thing. I'll be like, oh, I'm sick. Oh, you should drink lots of fluids. Or, all right, I'm going home. Make sure you drink lots of fluids.
Right.
Like, why is that your first piece of advice? Shouldn't your first piece of advice be like, get a lot of sleep or take a cold pill? I don't know. Is drinking lots of fluids that important?
Okay, so I always kind of scoffed at that advice too, because, I didn't really see the point. I read an article. This is how all of my just stuff that I pull out of my ass is going to start. But I read an article that said that, drinking lots of water is good, because then you are just kind of recycling your system very often. And by that, I mean you're going to the bathroom a lot. And that seemed to make sense to me. And as if to kind of prove this theory, the last cold I had was the first one where I really put this theory into use, like in earnest. And it was a really mild cold. Like, it was as mild as they get. Like, I had a sore throat for one day, and then I was in my nose for one day, and then I was pretty much on the upswing, and within, 4 or 5 days, boom, it was done, out.
Yeah, but you're not controlling your variables there. That might have... Whoa. Sorry, I was going to say that might have just been a mild cold. Let's get back to this in 1 second. Can we tell people what video we're watching? Because there is some crazy shit happening on this video right now.
Yeah, so we are watching a time-lapse that some guy... I guess he must have just put it on, different, vistas. Presumably across North America. I have no idea what continent we're looking at. But it's nighttime right now, and there's clouds kind of going by, and it's time-lapse, so it's all moving at, super high speed.
It looks sweet. Because, the
cool.
clouds are kind of moving, and so you can see the stars peeking through. I don't know. It's nice. You know what we don't do? What we need to do? People need to give us some emails and tell us if you're actually watching these videos or if this is just something that you're bearing with us while we watch these things. Because if you're watching them, we should press go at the same time or link you up or something like that. Can you tell the people what part of the video we're at right now?
Well, I can tell them that we're looking at 13, 14.
Nice.
17, 18, etc. And we're going to be posting the link to this video.
Yeah, so they'll be able to watch it. But just so in case they want, because, if they wanted to see turtles doing it last week, where would they go? I guess you just watch it since we found out that was a loop, and I felt betrayed by that video.
Maybe we should just give them our weekly mark.
Yeah, exactly. We should give them a weekly mark.
Okay, so let's start our weekly mark. We're going to go 13:45 in 3, 2, go. 13:45 right there.
Nailed it. So get your video. Oh, wow. And it's like the video just sped up. It's almost like we knew we were doing it, Mark. Or maybe the wind sped up. It's hard to say. This is a nice video, Dave. Very interesting.
Maybe those clouds were just moving really quickly. Because, those clouds were in real life. You can see them going, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I like seeing the stars move across the screen. This is nice. Real nice.
Back to my cold thing, Charlotte. I stand by it. I bet that this cold will be gone soon. And I'm drinking a buttload of water. And I got to tell you, I got high hopes.
I want to say I'm going to research this by next week. You know what? If I say I'll do it, then I have to write it down. When I write down all the follow-ups, and then I have to do it. All right, I'm saying I'm going to look it up. / I'm going to ask people who I know who are smart about this kind of stuff. And I'm going to find out why everyone keeps on telling me to drink fluids. I mean, obviously, let's say you're sneezing a lot, whatever. You need to replace that. But I don't know. I mean, I just don't see why that's the number one thing. I guess drinking water is good for you. And, you want to stay hydrated. I don't know, whatever. I don't drink a lot. Honestly, how many times a day do you pee, David, on an average day? Tell the world.
Wow. I don't think I can do that, Charlotte. It really varies.
Give me an average. Come on.
I don't know. I don't want to get people, telling me that I should get myself checked out. Or that I'm peeing too much.
I'll go first. When I'm at school, so let's say I'm at school from 7 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. I pee at school, I would say 2 or 3 times in that time.
Okay.
I feel like that's low. Is that what you pee too? 2 or 3 times in a roughly, 9-hour period?
Oh, probably something like that, yeah. But then sometimes you have a couple extra coffees, you drink a couple extra things of water. Sometimes I'm just prodigious. Sometimes I'm out of control. I'm going every 45 minutes.
Yeah. You know what? That does happen, everyone. And don't you get concerned? You're like, what is happening to my body?
Not really. I always just kind of think that it's some sort of one-off thing that defies explanation, that my body is just like, oh, well, this is happening, and
No, I always assume I'm dying. I'm always like, well, this is it. This is how I'm going to go.
This is how it's going to end.
I'm just going to pee until there's no water left in me, and that's going to be the end of me.
She was found in her bathroom. She'd peed out all the liquid in her body, and she was just a shriveled shell of skin.
Aren't people going to be like, how the hell is this girl a scientist? What an idiot.
Well, we can kind of speak to. I think I said that kind of loudly. Well,
You peaked.
I think we can kind of speak to. Some people tend to think that scientists know everything about all things science. You know what I mean? If you identified as a scientist, they'd be like, well, tell me about Saturn then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
I'm one of those people, by the way. Like, if I had anything just at all scientific to ask, Charlotte would be my first person, and then probably my friend Todd, because he's always just reading stuff. He always seems to have an answer that's satisfying, if not the correct answer. And frankly, that's all I'm looking for. Something that sounds plausible. Because I'm too lazy to do the research.
Which our dad is famous for doing. Although, to be fair, so this is the thing about being a scientist. I think you can reason a lot of stuff out. So if you have a certain base level of knowledge, like I can make something up for why you need more water when you're sick. And I don't know. I think a lot of things I could make something up and make it sound good. Our dad is very good at that. Although, again, he has a certain base level of knowledge and he's interested in a lot of stuff. So I think a lot of his stuff is probably at least 80% true. But he says it with such a sense of conviction and doesn't preface it with, all right, I'm not really sure, but I'm just going to say this. And I feel like Dad's listening to this right now, chuckling away, because Dad, you know that you do this. And it's great, actually. People are always like, wow, your dad's so smart. But I can't do that. I just know that I'm an idiot, and I can't. So I'll just go, well, honestly, I have no clue. And part of me, I'm kind of lazy. Like, I could try to think up a hypothesis for you and make something up. But, I mean, look at me. I don't know. I'm just getting myself out of bed in the morning, pouring myself giant glasses of wine. This is all I can do.
I think it's just a way to have fun. Like, you just kind of pontificate about things you have no business, pontificating about. And then if people buy it, you just kind of fantasize about the time when they go off and share that information with someone.
Yeah.
And they're now the chain has really begun.
That's what you have to be worried about, though. Oh, my friend's a doctor. I was having my oil changed a little while back, and this guy was working at the counter. I'm just sitting there, doing my thing. And he's like, so what do you do? I'm like, I'm a postdoc. He's like, you're what? I'm like, I'm a postdoctoral fellow. And that always gets a good confused look from people. They go, oh, okay. So
that title makes no sense to me, postdoctoral fellow. Wouldn't you be a postdoctoral lady?
Hey, that's sexist.
Is fellow not gender specific? Like, I assume it's not, I guess, right?
I think these are synonyms. That's not the word I'm looking for. Homonyms?
Homonyms?
Is that the right word?
No, because you spell fellow the same way.
Yeah, I know, but it's used in two different ways.
Oh.
Just like if you were to bear something, and if you saw a bear.
No, but those are spelled two different ways. So that's a homonym.
No, not bear like take off your clothes. Like bear is an endure.
Ah. Yeah, there's got to be a word for that. Just a word with multiple meanings?
Homonym, I think. Isn't it? Anyway.
Homonyms. Hey. Homonyms are words that are pronounced the same but are spelled differently.
Somebody save us. Where's Allie? Allie's got to know the answer to this.
I just told you the answer. I don't know the answer.
I know, but you didn't tell me the answer to... Yeah, exactly. Okay, what were we even talking about? Oh, yeah, fellow. A fellow, I think that's whatever the definition of this word is that we're trying to figure out. That's that.
Okay.
I'm a fellow. Not as in I'm a man, as in I'm a lady, even though my cold makes me sound like I have a man voice.
Right, no, I get it. It just seems like a masculine sort of title. That's all I'm saying.
Well, research is sexist. Maybe it is. Maybe it's from back in the day.
Yeah. Research is sexist, Charlotte?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, sorry. Well, I mean, yeah, it is historically speaking. Anyway, I haven't had that much of an experience with it, but I have a whole wealth of research that I can do, and a lot of it's getting funded because I'm interested in women's cardiovascular health. And one of the guys who sort of developed one of the techniques that I do a lot, which is called microneurography, if you're into that sort of thing.
All right.
I watched him give a talk, and he said, we never even considered that women might be different from men for the longest time. And so we either only tested men or we lumped men and women together. And it's only been in the last, 20 or so years that people started to realize that women's cardiovascular systems are regulated, maybe not differently, but with different control mechanisms than men. And sex hormones is one of them. So estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. And I think a lot of that is because you would be in the lab and you would just test the people in the lab around you. And that was historically men. You know, they developed this technique in the late 60s where you can record from your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight nervous system. And so they ended up figuring out, well, and we're still doing it, but started figuring out what the sympathetic nervous system does in the body.
Right.
And especially in a very specific regard. But anyway, and so they tested each other, and it was just dudes hanging out in the lab all day. And so a lot of the research was done on men, and then as women started coming to labs, they would do women. And then as they tested more and more women and started analyzing them separately, and now we look at things like pregnancy, which is what I'm researching right now, and polycystic ovary syndrome, which I think I talked about a couple weeks ago, which is one of my research interests. So these are conditions that are obviously specific to women. I say obviously because obviously men aren't getting pregnant. And we're realizing that that has a whole set of changes to the cardiovascular control. And we don't know why, for instance, women develop certain disorders like pregnancy, like preeclampsia, gestational hypertension. Diseases that are pretty dangerous for women, and we can't really prevent them because there hasn't been research. So in a way it's bad, and in a way it's good because it gives me lots to do.
Huh.
Yeah. Wow, how did we get on this train?
I think we were talking about homonyms.
And on that note, why don't we bring out our lady and see what she has to say?
Here she comes.
You're listening to Dave and Charlotte's Great Canadian Podcast.
Okay, we had a couple of follow-ups that we wanted to hit.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so the first one, we were watching the sea turtle video last week.
Yeah. And we're talking about how long sea turtles live.
And whether or not they made it for life.
Right. Oh, did you look that up?
I did.
Isn't that terrible that I did not look that up? I didn't. What's wrong with me? Why don't I care whether sea turtles... You know what? I think listening back to the podcast, it's just that I think sea turtles just seem like the most chill creatures that would mate for life. And I just thought it was hilarious, the idea of them just kind of floating around the ocean trying to hit it with each other, you know? So, I don't know what's wrong with me.
So this was your reasoning for not like just typing it into Google? Was just like,
well, no, I didn't even think of it. It didn't even occur to me. I'm like, screw it. Who cares if they
right.
meet? I didn't even write it down when I was jotting down follow-up things when I was listening.
Your scientific curiosity is very like interestingly selective.
Well, I looked up how long they live, if that counts.
Yeah, no, that works. Okay, so together we've got all the turtle information here.
Right.
All right, you go first. Okay,
so first of all, we talked about how long they live, and I said that I think Finding Nemo told us the answer to this. So I YouTubed that, Finding Nemo, how old do sea turtles live, or how long do sea turtles live. And first of all, what an adorable movie. Aaron, for God's sake, watch it if you haven't watched it yet. And the answer was that they didn't say how old sea turtles get. They just said that Crush, who was the old guy that gave... oh my God, what's his name? Nemo's dad, Marlin, the lift on his back. He was 150 years old.
Okay.
And apparently someone had told Nemo that they lived to be 100. And his dad was like, no, 150. And then I did some actual Googling.
I think it's hilarious that your first sort of place to go was Finding Nemo.
Well, I mean, maybe somebody looked it up. So then I looked it up. The American Museum of Natural History has a Ask a Scientist section. And here's the answer given by one of these scientists, whose name I did not write down. Sorry, what a terrible scientist I am to not cite other scientists. Whatever, you can Google it. American Museum of Natural History if you want to see who did this. He says, lifespan is often longer than most research projects, so it's hard to accurately measure their lifespan over this long period of time. Spoken like a true scientist, I think. That's a great answer. And then he says, the most consistent estimate is about 80 years.
Huh.
And so I'm sure that there are some sea turtles that live to be 150, just like Crush on Finding Nemo.
I would say that's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they don't get nabbed
I love this
by
researcher who... I love this guy who was like, well, it's hard to accurately measure. That's all the answers. When people say, oh, what do you think? Oh, hey, I was going to tell a story before the break about when I was getting my oil changed. I don't know how we got off this topic.
Hang on.
Do you want me to wrap that up at some point?
Well, the people want to know whether or not sea turtles mate for life.
Yeah, maybe they don't care what happened to me when I was getting my oil changed. All right, carry on. Do they mate for life? See, why do I not care about this? Like, go. Do they mate for life? Tell me.
No.
Yes.
Oh. They do not. They get their hands on all the turtle tang that they can.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. I don't know why that makes me happy, but it does.
I should have said turtle tail. That would have been had the same effect and been way less gross. Sorry, everybody.
Way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Turtle tail.
Oh, well.
What was I thinking? No, they don't. I guess they tend to be kind of voracious breeders when it comes to that time.
Yes.
I read another thing that says the females can collect the from a bunch of different males, and then kind of, I guess it's something about it that it promotes like diversity and like their breeding or something like that. So maybe like some of the eggs get fertilized from Turtle Joe, and some of them get fertilized by Turtle Remus.
Good God.
Those sound like good turtle names? No, turtles would be named like Sven and
Leonardo and Raphael.
But
Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
I feel like if we're talking like slovenly, like, turtles that are kind of padding around slowly in the ocean, that's not very Ninja Turtle-y like. What am I saying?
But they're not paddling around slowly. They're getting it on, and they're having like polyamorous relationships. They're like the swingers of the ocean.
Yeah.
They're exactly as I hope they would be.
You really had some specific fantasies regarding turtles.
All right, let me tell this dumb oil change story just so I can get this off my chest so I can stop thinking about it.
Okay.
It's not even a good story. This came up when we were talking about people thinking you would ask me science questions if you had to ask someone, and what a mistake that would be. So I'm getting my oil changed, and the guy says, what's a postdoc? Oh, this is how fellow. That's what happened. Homonyms. So Buddy goes, he's like, so what do you research? I'm like, well, it's neurovascular regulation. So it's how the nerves control the cardiovascular system. He goes, well, I don't know if this is just meant to be or what, but I've had this tremor in my hand for the last 2 months, and I just can't stop my forearm from shaking. It's just like, wow, but that's neuromuscular, it sounds like, or just plain old muscular, and I have no clue whatsoever what your problem is. And
That's cool. You kind of diagnosed it. All right, sorry, continue.
I mean, it sounds muscular. I mean, he's shaking. That's what. So I just said I honestly have no idea. Because I think what people don't realize is when you're a researcher, you end up pigeonholing yourself in a very, very narrow area. Very narrow.
Right.
Like back in the day, they would research all kinds of stuff. And I still think we need to get Dad on here because Dad wrote a book about this cool guy, William Hyde Wollaston. And he was a scientist back in the day and, like invented stuff and like discovered elements and was just kind of sweet. And they got to research anything they wanted. He did like auditory stuff, visual stuff. Like I said, discovered elements. Like those are very different fields in today's world. And in today's world, I do neurovascular research. I can't even do neuromuscular stuff. That's considered out of my realm,
Yeah.
Kind of a bummer. But as a result, you get very specialized in a very narrow area, and someone asks you something, you're just, even slightly out of your area, you're just like, I don't know, honestly, no idea what you're talking about.
Not even like the slightest clue.
Not even the slightest clue, no. And you know what? I just can't even bother to make anything up.
So what did he say to your
he was a little bit bummed.
quasi-diagnosis?
He was a little bummed. And then it came up that I did sex hormone stuff, and he said, oh, I work out a lot, and there's a lot of girls that work out a lot at my gym, and I see the effects of sex hormones or something like that. And I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna get back to my work because I was trying to work at the time. Anyway.
Yeah. What is that supposed
Poor
to
guy.
mean? Sees the effect
I'm
of
sure.
sex
I
hormones.
don't even. He was probably just trying to make polite conversation, and I
Was that supposed to be like a
joke?
joke?
I
Like
no,
some sort
it was
of-
not. It was not a joke. I think he was trying to find common ground. He was like, "Well, what do I know about sex hormones?
Ah,
Almost nothing."
you see, there are girls at my gym
yeah. They work out a lot.
who presumably have either sex or hormones, or maybe both.
So
He sounds like a
anyway, poor
nice
guy. Yeah, he was very nice. It was nice. He was chatting with me while I was getting my oil change, which is nice because that takes a long time. Just keeping me company.
Yeah.
All right, follow-up item number 2. Mark Ronson. We have been talking about who the hell is Mark Ronson for the last couple podcasts.
Yeah.
This is for no points because none of us knew who he was. I feel like Aaron said he was a DJ, maybe? Or a producer? I forget what Aaron said. So listen to this. According to Wikipedia, which I feel like is pretty accurate for this kind of thing, he's a musician, DJ, producer, songwriter, singer. He won a Brit Award, whatever that is. Assume something British.
It sounds
for
like
best-
something that Allie would know about.
Yeah, for Ali. For Best British Male Solo Artist in 2008. So he was a male solo artist.
That's cool.
And he has 4 solo albums. And his 4th one features Uptown Funk.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There you go.
So it makes more sense that it's a Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
So there you go, Mark Ronson. I think, I feel like that happens a lot, that there are people that are big in Britain and that, we never hear about. Or they're big in Europe, and it
Oh,
just
yeah.
never hits us here.
Absolutely.
It's kind of weird, don't you think?
I think it makes sense. I mean, we only have time to listen to so many people, so presumably a lot of the ones that we do are the ones that are being marketed to us, and you can kind of only find these people by, researching and, looking for them.
But I feel like a good song should be a good song, no matter where you are in the world.
Yeah, but I
guess
just, I don't think they make it to our ears as much,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. And maybe, I'm sure it's the same thing as, what's it called? Is it called CanCon in Canada, that the Canadian radio stations have to put in a certain amount of Canadian content for every hour of music that they play?
Yeah. When I was in school, it was 35%. I'm not sure if that's what it still is, but
You know
it
what?
was
That's
something like
sweet.
that.
I like that. That's an excellent rule.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of kind of lamenting about it when we were in school because, it's just oh, I got to play,
Yeah.
Tragically Hip or Nickelback or, Justin Bieber or something like that. But, I think that is cool. I mean, if we didn't have that, Canadian talent would face even tougher challenges than they already do.
Well, and a lot of songs, you hear them the first time and you're kind of eh. And then they grow on you. And it's honestly just a matter, obviously the song has to have a certain amount of, what's the word? It's got to be good. But a lot of songs, they just grow on you. And if you also, like you said with this British stuff, if you never hear it, how are you ever going to find out about it?
Totally.
Even Robbie Williams, he is huge, obviously, in Britain, or maybe not is now, but I think he probably is still now, but has been huge. And I've read articles about him that he's never really hit it big here. And Robbie Williams, I will say, anyone out there who's got the Live 8 DVD set, and you watch Robbie Williams sing Angels, and you tell me you don't get goosebumps. I bet you can even YouTube that.
Right. Now I remember why I know that name.
Good God, is that I just can't watch it. You know what? I'm going to watch it as soon as this is over because it's Live 8, so it's in Britain. When was that? When I was in undergrad, so some time ago.
Woof.
Maybe 10 years ago? I don't know. 10 years ago? And anyway, whatever. So they had all these bands, and Robbie Williams plays, and it's at some, I don't know, park in Britain, and the people go crazy, and they sing along to his song Angels, which is a beautiful song in and of itself. And honestly, just watch it, and you'll lose it. It's so good. It'll make you love Robbie Williams.
Do you like a lot of his other stuff?
No, I mean, because
But it'll make you love him for the duration of the song Angels.
No, well, and then I think because he also does Let Me Entertain You. I'm pretty sure he sings that song on there, and he sings another song. I forget what else he sings, but just the fact that he's such a good entertainer, it'll make you love him as a person. I think
that's respectable. Yeah.
it made me love him as a person anyway.
I could see it. I think that's as good a segue as any to bring us into our Tower of Power song of the day.
Yeah, great time for that.
Which I was looking at the list and I just thought you meant top song of the day. I was like, oh, it's...
No, you noticed that TOP was all in caps.
I did. But I just thought I thought you were emphasizing it, as you do.
So for every TOP song, I really want to write down my favorite lyrics. So anyway, let me know if you want that kind of stuff, because I don't want to ruin it for you. But I will tell you why I love this song, or where. So this song is a song for if you're walking or driving, I guess, to school or work, or when you're walking home. I think you need to be ideally outside, and this song needs to be cranked. And this will, I think, give you the courage to pursue all that you want in life. The song is Happy by Leona Lewis.
Happy.
Do you know this song, David?
No, I've never heard it.
Good God, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Is it new?
It's no, it's pretty old. I don't know. I'd say maybe 5 or 6 years. It's epic. I would call this song epic. And if you're listening, you gotta listen to the entire thing, because at the end it breaks down and then it comes back with a vengeance, and it will make your heart sing.
I'm putting that one on my list.
And she kind of says it. Yeah, you should, because she says, basically, to paraphrase Leona Lewis or whoever wrote this song. I should look that kind of stuff up too. Who wrote the song? Because whatever lyricist is behind this song, and whoever wrote the music too, it's honestly beautiful. She basically says, it doesn't matter how much life kicks me down, I'm just going to keep on trying to be happy. And that's, I think, a pretty good life lesson right there.
I like that. That's a good sentiment, yeah.
Yeah. Dave, you give her a listen. I think you should report back on the TOP songs that you're not familiar with.
Okay.
And if you've got TOP songs, Dave, you butt in one of these days.
Yeah, I could probably do one. Well, I'll contribute. I think that's more your realm, but I'll see what I can do from week to week, and I'll see if I can top your top song.
I mean, you won't be able to top them because mine are, amazing.
All right. I think it's a possibility.
We need to follow up on one more thing from last week. The word of the day. Overwhelming response. The word of the day was opine.
Opine.
To opine. To give one's opinion, as it were.
Which is a great
Somehow
word.
This came up. Yeah, it's a great word. It came up over the Christmas holidays, and Jan said this should be a word of the day. Opine.
Opine.
So we've got a phrase this week. We're gonna try to get it in there. And
which is a hint in and of itself.
Yeah, that we haven't got it in there yet, and it's a phrase. You got 2 hints. So listen, tell us what you think the phrase is, and you get a free T-shirt. Not actually.
You get a free T-shirt sometime. You
get a free T-shirt. Smile at you from the over the air. Good job, you.
Which sounds like this. Let's smile for a second here, Charlotte.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile.
Just like that.
Were you doing it? I was for real smiling into my microphone. Okay, good, perfect.
Yeah, I was. Of course. I wouldn't just.
You know what? I took a few different options for my picture for today prior to the podcast, and I'm gonna put in. I took one super smiley one. I'm gonna put the super smiley one in, and that's the smile you guys get for getting the word of the day right. Boom.
Nice. All right, I'm going to put in a super smiley one too. That's what's happening.
Perfect.
All right, let's spin the lady one more time before we get into the latter half of the podcast, or latter third, I should say, of the podcast.
The meat of the podcast.
You're listening to Dave and Charlotte's Great Canadian Podcast.
Dave, how's your beer doing?
Beer is gone. I was about halfway through when we started the podcast. I was
half in the bag.
It was mid-beer, yeah. And now I'm killing water, Charlotte. Killing it.
You're drinking lots of fluids, Dave.
Drinking lots of fluids, yeah.
You know what? So am I. whatever. I'm drinking wine. They didn't say, they just said fluids. See, that's another thing. Fluids. Drink lots of fluids. That's another reason that saying doesn't make any sense. It should be, this is why I'm irked about it, because I suspect deep down that people don't know what they're saying. And they just think that that's something that you should say. Like when someone dies, you go, oh, they're in a better place, which is kind of like the worst thing to say. Like, oh, really? Is this where we all want them to be? Dead? I don't think that's what you mean. And I think that this is the same thing. Like, I'm sure you're not telling me to go get canned today, are you? No. You're probably telling me to drink water. So drink lots of water. That's what people should say. Unless maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe wine is fine.
Maybe they mean like, OJ or apple juice or something like that. I feel like that
they
would...
should they should specify, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel that, yeah.
So Dave and I have we've had busy weeks, and we have shockingly little planned for this podcast.
As I'm sure it's been really hard to tell.
So it's time to jump the shark and give you the best material that we've got in our back pockets. And that is a new game I like to call Dave and Charlotte Ask Each Other Inane Questions and see where the conversation goes.
Inane questions.
That's amazing. Amazing intro music for this Inane Questions segment also.
That's like whenever I'm like improvising intro music for anything, it's always sounds like that.
I've noticed that. Also, I hate to say that. Are we on a loop again? I think this might be on a loop. I feel like we've already seen this video.
Have we seen this already?
This video. I mean, we saw a banister on the right. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Why do I hate loops so much? I don't know. I just feel cheated. You know what? Why not make the video the length of your video?
No, there's no way this is a loop, Charlotte.
Podcast?
No, there's no way.
Right. Maybe I'm getting riled up for no. This is what I'm talking about. I'm always on my way up. I'm always getting excited, getting happy, or getting pissed off. There's no in between. I'm never just cruising.
You know what I did without even thinking of the consequences? I seeked ahead in the video a little bit. Excuse me. I seeked ahead, and then I didn't think to remember where we were before. And now we're at completely different spots in the video.
And you know what? My laptop is way across the room. There's no way I'm getting up to move to where you are or to tell you where I am. So, it's at least 5-6 feet away from me right now.
In short, we are completely fucked.
Go change the video. Go fast forward. She's cleaning herself. She's not helpful.
Thanks a lot,
all right.
Isabel.
David.
Okay, we had a game. I'm sorry. Inane.
David.
Questions. Oops.
David, what did you have for breakfast today?
It was called... I think it might have been called the Great Canadian Breakfast. Good Lord. No, you're making that up. I don't think I am. I was at Aunt Gussie's in Grand Bend, and it was called like the something Canadian breakfast or something like that.
I have so many questions. Why were you in Grand Bend?
Because I was visiting my lady friend.
Oh, nice. Right. Sorry. I didn't realize that. I wasn't trying to get you to say it. Okay, nice. And you guys went to... Wait, where's Aunt Gussie's? This is not interesting podcasting for anyone who's not from that area. But let's face it, this is just mom and dad listening. And right. Jacqueline listening. And Jacqueline might want to go to Aunt Gussie's. Where is it? Remind me?
Jacqueline, if you ever want to go to Aunt Gussie's, it is... oh my God, I don't even know what direction that is. South. Out of Grand Bend on like 21, just a little ways. Not that far. It's not even really outside of Grand Bend. It's like on the edge of Grand Bend.
Like where the Sobeys is?
No. It's in the direction of the No Frills. It's that way.
God, I don't know where that is.
It's like if you want to go to like Bernie Green's, that way.
Yeah. Got it.
Or what used to be Bernie Green's.
Right. And so tell me, what's in the Great Canadian Breakfast?
It was your standard, Charlotte. It was your standard 1, 2, 3, 4 punch combo. It was, the eggs, the toast, sausage, bacon, or ham, and home fries.
What on earth made it the Great Canadian Breakfast? Was it back bacon?
Isn't that what every great Canadian wants for breakfast?
I mean, I guess, but you want to know what the best breakfast food ever is to me?
What's that?
It was terrible sentence structure. I just had a paper sent back for review so it's being published, and right before they publish a paper, they send editors through who apparently have very little training in science, because this person, anyway, let's not go there. Anyway, so they edit your papers and they change your grammar, or they fix your grammar, I guess. And
Right.
I want to read to you the sentence that this guy wrote to me in his email back, where he was telling me what was wrong with my sentence. I did not understand his sentence because it was so grammatically heavy. Like, it was honestly laughable. I was just laughing at my desk because I read this guy's email.
Can I hear it?
Regardless, so my grammar's terrible. Yeah, I'll look it up next time you're telling a story.
Okay.
Sorry, no offense. Next time you tell a story, I'm not going to listen. I'm just
Right.
kidding. All right. Best breakfast. You go to Winks. If you live in London, Ontario, or around London, Ontario, you need to go to Winks, they've got great live entertainment. It's a great bar. Actually, it's probably my favorite bar in London. And I'm not getting paid by Winks to say that. I love it. It's it's chill. They've got the Big Wink, which is like this monster beer, which gives your arm a workout when you drink it. And like I said, the live entertainment's amazing. So, I mean, go to Winks. Great bar. And, have a good time. Go back the next morning for breakfast. I almost don't want to describe this breakfast to you because it is going to kill me that I cannot eat this breakfast for like the next 5 months or so. But I'm going to do it anyway for the good of the podcast. So first you start with hash browns, and these are unbelievable hash browns. These are crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. You think that is an easy thing to do. It is not an easy thing to do. So first of all, amazing hash browns, all cube-shaped, roughly the size of a dice. A dice?
Oh, so the little guys.
Dice. Really good. Maybe a little bit bigger. Really
Right.
good hash browns. They're all cube-shaped somehow. Okay, first of all, my mouth is watering. Let me wipe up here. Okay, my version of the video, I'm on a train now, I think. Or I'm in a car, maybe?
What?
I think I'm in a car. I'm in a car. I see a street. And we're zooming along.
What? I want to be there.
Well, too bad. You screwed up your video. So now you learn. Oh my God, the car stopped. We stopped at the stop sign. Oh, and another one. This is great. Great video. Okay, so anywho, so you got your hash browns. Then they put bacon on it. And they're not even kidding around with this bacon. They put so much bacon, and it's real bacon. These aren't bacon bits. These are like torn pieces of bacon. I think they've got to put at least like half a pack of bacon on your full-size helping of the Winks breakfast poutine. Throw in some mozzarella cheese curd and legit cheese curd. This is not shredded cheese, people. This is legit mozzarella cheese curd.
I always
And
prefer
then-
the curd over the shredded cheese. This is good.
Do they put gravy over top? No, they do not. Do you know what they put over top?
I do not.
Hollandaise sauce.
Is that
Hollandaise.
Is that the stuff that's on Eggs Benedict?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I feel like I'd rather have gravy. Sorry.
No, you would not. No, you would not. You would not. Okay, maybe I'm crazy. Okay, top it off with a little bit of scallion, green onion, chopped up on top.
I dig.
Honestly, picture yourself hungover, first of all, and then dig into this. And honestly, it's the best thing in the whole wide world. I dream about it.
I'm
it's
there.
so good.
I'm there.
Yeah. Honestly, you need to eat it for me so that I can live vicariously through you, because I meant to get it when I was home for the holidays and just never made it. I didn't really make it out for breakfast or brunch. Only once, actually. Oh, and we didn't go there. Damn it. What a missed opportunity.
I don't
And
know.
it was even... Yeah, anyway, whatever. What a missed opportunity. Sorry, Winks. I did go to Winks. Let's make that clear. I just didn't get breakfast there.
And a good time was had by all.
Great time. Great time.
All right, Charlotte, we got time for another inane question, I think.
All right, you want to ask me an inane question, or you want me to ask you an inane question?
I don't have one, so you go.
What color is the shirt that you're wearing?
It is off-white. It's kind of creamy.
Is it just plain or what?
No, you know what? It's the same shirt that I'm wearing in our profile picture of the Great Canadian Podcast.
So, do you not do laundry? Like, what's the problem here?
No, that's what color it is.
Wait, but it's the exact same shirt, or it's the same color as the picture in our profile picture?
No, it's the same shirt.
It's the same shirt. So you're
Yeah.
just wearing the same clothes every day? Like, you can't put on a different shirt for our listeners?
We're not live Video,
We
Charlotte.
take pictures, and we always take the pictures, just so you guys know, on the same day as we record the podcast.
Okay, Charlotte, here's one for you. J'accuse, are you wearing jogging pants
No.
right now?
No, I'm not. Whoa, joke's on you, Dave. Because
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing jeans. This is what I wore to work today. School. A tank top. And over top of the tank top, I am wearing, I don't even know how to describe it, kind of like a loose fitting top. So you can kind of see the straps of the tank top and the bottom of the tank top. But this top is like navy blue and kind of goes over it. I don't even know. You'll see the top of it in my profile pic.
I say the joke is back on you because you're doing a podcast. You're not wearing comfy pants like this guy.
I know, but I look delightful. I could have changed, and I first of all only got home with 40 minutes to spare before we were supposed to start, and needed to eat dinner, so I prioritized that. I had food, and I poured myself a glass of wine. I checked my sound levels, and then it was time to go.
What did you have for
dinner? And then I had fish. That's a great inane question, Dave. I had fish. That's what I eat every night.
Seriously?
How about this? I used to judge so hard on people who would eat the exact same thing. If I made something for dinner one night, I could not bring those leftovers for lunch the next day because it bummed me out too much to eat the same thing that close together. You know what I mean? And now, here I will tell you, bless you, I will tell you my daily diet. And I don't know what it is, if Edmonton did this to me or what. So, morning, I either have a smoothie as I get ready for school, or a cup of coffee if I'm feeling very tired, or nothing. And let's be honest, nothing is what happens more often than not. Maybe if it's nothing, then it's just some water that I'm sipping while I'm getting ready.
Okay.
Mid-morning, banana.
Oh my God, you starve until lunchtime, Charlotte?
No, honestly, a banana, like, this sounds, okay, first of all, I've never been one that ate, even in high school, I don't know, I never liked breakfast. You guys growing up, you guys always ate breakfast. You and Richard and Jet, like, you loved your cereal. I've hated cereal my whole life. Ask Mom and Dad, it's true. I've never eaten cereal.
Cereal's fine. You're eating, you're drinking.
No, cereal's the worst. It's like you know what? Breakfast, have we talked about this, that breakfast is my most hated meal of the day?
I don't think so, but I think we should bookmark that for next podcast because I feel like that's going to be a biggie.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I just don't, you know what? All the best things in the world happen at lunch or dinner. Hamburgers, that's a dinner thing. Pizza, dinner. French fries, dinner.
I won't argue with that.
Right? You can't
Breakfast
argue with that.
Charlotte.
That's it.
You just
and
went
that's
off
brunch.
on a big
That's
tirade
not even
about
breakfast. And bacon, obviously bacon, but you can incorporate bacon into any meal. All right, let's talk. I know people love their honestly, you would have to pay me to make me eat eggs for dinner. That to me is the saddest thing in the whole wide world, is eating eggs for dinner. Yeah, people do that, and I could not.
Yeah, what kind
Ever.
of crazies are doing that?
No, I don't know. People. Okay, so listen to this. So I probably don't eat breakfast. Banana mid-morning. For lunch, I put and this is, everyone makes fun of me in the lab, and yeah, you can make fun of me for this, but I just put a bunch of leaves in a Tupperware container and salad dressing in a tiny container in that Tupperware container, and I eat a salad, but really it's just leaves. And it's usually kale and spinach, but they didn't have kale or spinach at the grocery store when I was there, so it was romaine lettuce this week.
Huh.
So basically kind of a salad, but just a sad salad, because you know what? I am too lazy to chop up tomatoes and onions for lunch. I don't know who you people are that are making elaborate lunches, but first of all, I can't believe you think you're better than me, and second of all, where do you have the time? I would rather just go to bed and get a solid 9 hours than make a lunch the next day.
Right.
So then I usually pack an apple. And when around 3 or 4 o'clock, I can't take it anymore, I just eat an apple. And that, honestly, apples fill me up for like at least an hour. And then when I get home, I have a fillet of fish. And that is not a McDonald's reference. That is a Highliner. Is Highliner the brand that has the fisherman on the front of the box?
Yeah.
So they have these, they're called Pan-Sear Selects, but they have some saucy ones and they have breaded ones. You need to get the breaded ones. You need to get the haddock, which is breaded with garlic. And I recently branched out into the salmon. Honestly, unbelievable. So good.
Haddock is really one of the funnest of all fishes.
So good. And then I make myself a little homemade tartar sauce every day. And I usually saute up some frozen vegetables, so corn or broccoli or peas or something like that, or Brussels sprouts with a little bit of margarine and some salt and pepper in a pan. And that's my dinner.
And that's all you eat all day?
Yeah.
Holy
I don't even know who I am anymore. Because I used to always cook when I got home, but I think it's just this postdoc life is taking it out of me. I don't have the energy to cook when I'm home. I walk in, and before I take off my coat or my toque, I start preheating the oven. But then I eat my fish and my vegetables, and I'm full. I know.
And you're ready for another day of
the same thing.
banana.
And
Yeah.
I will tell you, though, that when I go out to eat with my friends, I eat anything. You know, like,
Right.
I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I'm just going to have the salad. I eat, like, you know, burger and fries and give me a side of gravy and a side of ranch or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a good system, because then when you're out, you enjoy yourself. When you're home,
Right.
you kind of behave a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. You
And
get
that
a little
way-
tipsy, order. Yeah. You order
That way you
some
don't have to
takeout.
deal with, like, the snob factor. Just be like, I think I'll just have the salad.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
As
yeah.
if you're trying to shame everyone at the rest of the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah. Anyways, there you go. That's my typical day of eating. Let's do one more inane question.
All right.
David, if you could be any animal, which animal would you be?
Oh, obviously it'd be a duck. Mm-hmm. Because
Is
ducks,
that obvious?
I mean, okay, ducks can fly. They're cool. They hang out with their kids a lot. They spend a lot of time with their kids. You know, they can swim. They're beloved by humans for the most part. Except when you get those jerk ducks, in which case I think the humans deserve it. Because they're probably calling the ducks names or being mean to the ducks.
Wait, what jerk ducks?
Well, you know, sometimes ducks are mean. Sometimes they'll chase you and, like, quack at you and stuff.
Okay, here's the thing. If you don't know this already, world, I am terrified of birds.
Yeah,
Like,
she is.
terrified. Bigger than a fist is my general rule. Chickadee, not afraid of a chickadee. Any bird bigger than a fist, you scare the living daylights out of me. But ducks do not scare me.
Huh.
Whoa,
think I
there's
knew
a
that
guy in
about
the
you.
video. There's a human in the video.
I really wish I was at the part of the video that you're at right now. Just
Wait,
back on
how
clouds
far
again.
away did you scroll?
I have no idea.
How far ahead? I wish I could tell you people where I am in the video, but I'd have to get up. Oh my God, what a nightmare. Sorry, I can't. But you know what? I was in sync with Dave when he gave you guys your mark in the video. So if you really care that much, go line it up.
It was the thing.
All right, anyway, yeah, so terrified of birds, not terrified of ducks. David, was it you growing up that always wanted to have a pet duck named Earl?
Yes.
Do you think you'll ever get Earl?
Ooh, there's a person in the video now. I don't know. I feel like I would need to be able to keep Earl outside because while I love ducks, I think that they're probably pretty disgusting creatures.
Wait, what did Joey and Chandler have on Friends? They have a chicken
They had
and a duck, don't
They had
they?
a chicken and a duck, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that was a bit romanticized, friends-sized. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
a
I'm sure.
chicken in the house would be super stinky.
There
and
was a
disgusting.
deer on the video. There's still a deer. The deer's back. Oh my God. There's deer.
I saw the deer.
That's adorable.
Charlotte,
And
if you
they're
could be any animal, which animal?
Okay, here's a random answer for you. When I was in New Orleans, which by the way, great city. If I could live anywhere in the world, first of all, if I could live anywhere in the world, I'd live in Southwestern Ontario. After that, if you made me move to another city in another country, I would move to New Orleans. What a cool city. I went for a swamp tour and we saw alligators in the swamp. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I would be a good alligator. They just hang out. They hang out. They're in the sun all day. They're half submerged, like, you know, half in, half out. They're just relaxing. And they're badass. Like you can't even they're just so chill. But if you try to mess with an alligator, they'll just kill you. They'll just straight up kill you.
Yeah.
Because they'll eat anything. And I just kind of think that's the sort of lifestyle that I would like. Like, I'm just going to sit here and chill. And if you try to mess with me, maybe not the killing part, but, you know. People fear alligators.
And you can bet there'd be some unpleasantness if you messed with Charlotte the alligator.
Yeah. You know? So it's weird that I have that answer locked and loaded. I wasn't trying to get you to get me to say that, but I feel like I'd be a great alligator. And also, and if you know me, this is no surprise, a great cat. I'd be a great cat. They just chill. I come home a lot of the days and normally she when I come in, I go, "Hi, Izzy," when I walk in, and she's at the front door, or at my bedroom door, which is just kind of around the corner from my front door, and she's meowing like crazy, and she runs into the living room and lays down all cute so that I pet her. Today, I walked in, I was like, "Hi, Izzy," still no sign of her. Take off my toque and mitts, take out my iPod, get the oven preheating, obviously. Still no Izzy. Where the hell? She's just lying on the bed, curled up still. Like, you couldn't even be bothered to get up when I walked in the door? And that's the life of a cat. That's pretty good. I'd do that. I could do that.
I could see it. Right now my cat's meowing outside my door because I lock him out for the podcast.
Oh, Oliver.
Did
we tell people that Oliver and Izzy are brother and sister, just like you and I are brother and sister, David?
That is fun. Can you hear him?
I think it's adorable. No, I can't. We can't hear him.
Oh, right. You can't hear him. Yeah, sorry. You might be able to hear him on my end of the podcast when you hear my audio.
Oh, yeah, it's not coming over. We've got quite the setup here, folks, to try to get it all. One of these days, we're going to have to take a picture. Our profile picture for the podcast is going to have to be me holding Izzy and you holding Oliver.
I like it. That'll be at like the 6-month mark or the 25 show mark, whatever comes first.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not hard to calculate considering we're doing one every week. But
you know what? If you're good at mental math, why don't you just email us the answer instead of judging us about it?
Great
Not
Canadian
everyone's
Pod
good at mental math, guys.
at gmail.com. Great Canadian Pod. And I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, for God's sake, let's wrap it up. Did we peak in the first 2 seconds of the podcast?
Let us know, dear listeners.
Hey, you want to come on the podcast? You send us an email. If you email us and tell us you want to come on the podcast, that's going to be even more of an impetus for us to figure out how to get people to call in. And we can do it. We got some mental firepower here, people. We got this. So come on the podcast. Tell us you'll come on. You don't even have anything to talk about. We can ask you inane questions.
We'll figure it out. Just give us a reason to. That's all we ask.
Right? Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope next time you come prepared with your own glass of wine or bottle of beer. Join us in our alcohol consumption.
Slip into your jogging pants.
Yeah. You know what? Anyone's telling you need to drink more fluids? You got your fluids right here, bud. Am I right?
Keep hydrated, people. That's...
And we'll see you next week.
Spayed or neutered.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. And remember, we've still got... honestly, we're overhyping the crap out of this story, but one of these days, we're going to get someone on here who is going to tell us a story that involves cat herpes. You're probably going to be let down. Yeah. Because that is not a decent thing to talk about. It's honestly like not... I just felt like it was an amazing story. We shouldn't have started hyping this guest when we did, but we did. And when this guest comes on, they're going to tell us about cat herpes, and then I could stop talking about it. And hey, are we going to be healthy next podcast? Let's hope so.
Yeah, let's stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
I'm drinking lots of liquids. That's all I'm saying.
Peace out, guys.
See you next time.
It's the Great Canadian Podcast with Dave and Charlotte.